Welcome to another great episode of the Visualize and Create Video podcast. I say great because it is great. You're tuning in because you want inspiration, you want motivation, you want the tools and the connections to help you move forward, whether it's because you want to get started with something in your life. It could be a business, it could be your health or change or whatever it is, or you're already in the trenches of it all and you need some more support. And so I'm excited to have you on this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. You are listening on your favorite podcast provider, or perhaps watching this show on your big TV screen. Regardless, I'm excited to have you. My name is Martine Cadet, and I am the host of the Visualize and Create show. You will be able to meet amazing individuals that are going to inspire you, motivate you, and give you the tools for you to visualize and create whatever it is that you want. Make sure you check out the show notes and share this with a friend. I'm excited to have you on the show, Raoul. It's such a pleasure. And for you listening and watching, this is why I always like to share my love of the digital world. I am here in New Jersey, and Raoul is actually in the beautiful islands of the Caribbean, yet he is able to run his business, take care of his family digitally. And so, for you listening or watching and wondering what's my next step, I want to do something. Have you thought about going into the digital world? Or perhaps you've been doing it already and you're wondering how to scale it. It's possible. And so today I want to dive in with Raoul and have him tell you a little bit about his story. And to be honest with you, I'm going to get to know it as well with you because Raoul and I connected online on social media networks, right? And he was kind enough to connect with me, and we actually did a panel together virtually, that is, and that's how I got to know him, and we continued our connection, and he's here today. And so I would, first of all, tell us how you got to creating your business and walk us through what that business is today.
I am a journalist. I've been in this industry for over 10 years now. I started in radio first, and I did a short time working in TV as a host. And then I turned out to become a writer because it has been always a passion for me to tell the story of other people, especially people that are doing great things that can inspire others. And I made a story in 2015. It was about community of disabled people or people with disability and how they're struggling to uh, do their activities on a daily basis in a transportation system that is not adapted to their situation in Haiti, especially in the capital. And during that experience, I met a lot of people with disability who have been fighting all their lives to do the great things, to go to school, to go to work, to move around a city that is hostile, I would say, toward them. And I said the story, and fortunately, it offered me my first journalism award, and it really encouraged me to embrace this career as a journalist. And then I started working as a journalist full time, even though I first wanted to be a diplomat. I did my studies in international relations, and then I stopped. I embraced journalism, and then I started working for news outlet in Haiti and Haitian news outlet that are working elsewhere, such as in the US. And then in 2017, I would start working for Loop Haiti. Loop Haiti is actually the local branch for Loop News. That is a wide online news organization in the Caribbean. We're operating in 6 countries right now. You have Loop Jamaica, Loop Trinidad, Cayman, etc., and you have Loop in Haiti that I have been running since October 20. 18. And since then, this is what I'm doing. I'm telling the stories of other people, what they're doing, how they're fighting to make a difference in their communities. And it's been a great experience so far. I've learned so many things. Yes, that's how I got into it.
That's awesome. That is so inspiring. Now, I do have to note, and I should have done that at the top of the conversation. Why did I not even mention this? So you heard, and while you're watching, you heard Raoul mentioning that Loop Haiti, he's managing this great company, to share those stories. And I have yet to share with you that Haiti is where I come from, just like Raoul is from. And so it's such a refreshing conversation to be able to speak to you, Raoul, and hopefully connecting with others that are from our country, Haiti, to hear the things that we have decided to do and you have decided to do. And so kudos to you. I really love that you are embracing your passion, and at the same time you're lifting people's lives by sharing great content and stories so that you can make an impact. And so my question to you is, Raoul, when you do those articles, that type of content, right? Because remember, I don't know if you know, and for you listening, if this is your first time tuning in, I'm all about content marketing. I love great content. I love reading great articles, right? And watching great videos. So for you, Raoul, that is in the midst of that as a journalist, right? How do you go about coming up with a great story? Like, we don't want you to give away your secret
Mhm.
sauce, but what makes a great story? Stop wasting hours trapped behind the keyboard when you could be spending time building relationships, attracting new leads, and nurturing your clients. My content marketing agency, Cadet Media Boutique, specializes in VIP custom video editing and graphic design for coaches, consultants, and service providers just like you who want to show up and stand out online. Visit my website, martinecadet.com/podcast, so you can get started today with your online presence. I look forward to supporting you. What makes a great story?
That's a beautiful question, Martin, and I'm glad that you said content in your last sentence, because actually my role in Loop Haiti is content manager. So it's all about content for us here. And for the question, Loop Haiti has been operating since 2015 in Haiti, and then in 2020, we have decided to make a big change. This change was about the fact that we were going to stop reporting about the hard news. You know how the situation is in the country. You always have something to say about the insecurity, the political situation, the problems we have there. And then Loop Haiti decided to make a big change. We said, okay, we're going to do it differently. We have been reporting on the problems for a lot of years now, and a lot of other media outlets out there are doing the same thing, while we are not speaking enough about people that are doing all they can to make a difference in their field. And then we decided that we were going to change our direction, and even our slogan is now different. It stories that inspire you. So a great story for us at Loop Haiti is a story that can inspire others. You can be from any field. It can be music. You can be a political leader who have been fighting all your lives to make a difference in the political field, with the choices you've made, with the interest that really is in the heart of your engagement, the community you're serving, etc. It can be about anything, or just a simple citizen who decided to pursue his dreams or her dreams. And what makes this story inspiring is when we know, first of all, it was not all given to you from the start. Uh, this might sound different to some other people, but when you're from a country like mine, you know that things are not given to people. You have to fight to get them. If you want to make a difference, you'll have to fight twice as hard as someone elsewhere would have to. And the first thing is that people have to find inspiration from your story, because you have been through difficulties, you have known a lot of hardships, but you did something that kept you up and running. And we want you to share this with the people. And we also want you to show us the results of the struggles, of the fight that you have been leading in your life. And then we want you to share the tips, advices that gave you this success that you had to other people. Of course, our journey are not the same. We are different people with different stories, background, and everything. But some things are general. We all had hardships. We all have hard times. We all had boundaries that we fought to break to go to our dream and make a difference. So your story have to have these ingredients so we can take it and let more people know about it. And this is what we have been doing or amplifying for the past 2.5 years, even though before that we were still about to look for great stories, positive stories. It can be about Haitians in Haiti or elsewhere abroad, like you, Martine, who are doing a great job really, and marketing and consulting people who want to grow their business and who want content that can really give them what they need. So yes, it's all about that and more.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for breaking that down, Raul. And that last portion of that you shared about making sure that you shared the tips and tricks on, how you overcame through your story is important. And here's the thing, when we share our stories, because I'll tell you, for me, for a long time, I had a hard time sharing my story. I didn't know what it could do. And it's so powerful. Like you said, we're all different. We have different trajectories and challenges that we went through, yet our story can inspire someone else to make a difference in what we went through, perhaps, or it can inspire them, their own lives. And so at the end of the day, not telling your story is probably not a good option, right? You have to tell your story. And we have platforms. I have this platform to give you the opportunity to do so. And Raoul has a platform as well to give you the opportunity to do so. And with that, Raoul, would you mind sharing with us the details or information on how to connect with you, what you've included in the show notes, should we want to continue our conversation and potentially share our stories with you?
Yes, I am very active on social media, and I am everywhere literally. And I also have my professional email address and even a phone number that I make available on all my profiles. And for Loop Haiti as well, we have all our contact informations displayed on our profiles so people can contact us. If you have a tips, if you know someone who's doing something great, it can be Haitian or anyone else. You can share them with us because we want people to know that their story have more power than they would ever imagine. We've seen so many people reach out to us to thank us for telling the story of this young man. I've been going through the same thing. I had the same difficulty, and I didn't know I could have done the things this or that way. And most of the times, people we write about write us back to tell us, thank you for sharing my story. Here are the screenshots or people who are reaching out to me to ask me for advices. So if you reach out to me or to Loop Haiti, you definitely reach out to all these people we are trying to whom we are trying to amplify their voices. You're reaching out to all these people we're telling you about. Because sometimes when people come to us and ask us if they can get in touch with Martine, what we do is we talk to Martine, and Martine say, okay, no problem. I will be really glad to share it with them. So I'm available everywhere on social media. My professional and even personal email addresses as well are available online. And Loop Haiti, it's the same. We're really, really happy to talk to you, to tell your story. You can reach out to us anytime.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And for you listening and watching, remember, if you have been listening all the way to this point, that means you're very much invested. And maybe you are from the from Haiti like us, or the Caribbean, or anywhere in the world. Regardless, you're still here. So which means that you are going to take action. You're going to reach out, check the show notes, subscribe, share this with someone that you know needs to hear and tap into. Okay. And so Raoul and I want to personally thank you for watching all the way to this point and listening all the way to this point, because that means a lot to us, as we every single day show up to serve you and give you the stories to empower you. And that's what Raoul does on a daily basis, is to make sure that he brings you the stories to inspire you. And so thank you so much again for coming on the show, Raoul. I look forward to having you again.
Thank you very much, Martine, and thank you for giving us a voice. As you said, we have many challenges in Haiti, but it's not only about that. We have a lot of people who are doing their best every day to make a difference. Young people, people who saw generations, who are doing their best, and we are really, really happy to tell you about them because they exist and they're acting. They're taking actions too on a daily basis. So yes, thank you very much. And I will be glad to come back here and to practice again, since, English is not my language. So
Oh
I
my
will
goodness, you're
practice
absolutely
more.
right. Listen,
I will
English is
practice
not
more
my
and come
language
back.
either.
It is not.
I
But,
can totally turn
yeah,
it back on and off with Creole and French in half a second. And so I hear you. But you know what? We're showing up, Raoul, and that's the energy we want you listening and watching to understand. We're waking up to do this, and you can do it too. And so thank you again. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you, Raoul, for coming on. I look forward to having you again. And with that, I'll see you and potentially hear you, right? You hear me, I see you. I don't know what I'm saying at this point because this is a video podcast. I'm usually like, okay, are you listening? Are you watching? Regardless, we'll connect in the next episode. Bye. You have just listened or watched the Visualize and Create show. Don't forget to download our app and make sure to leave us a review. And before I go, I do want you to visit my website, martinecadet.com. Browse around. There's a lot of stuff in there. I have a store. I also have great services available for you so that you can visualize and create anything that you want. I will see you in the next episode.